Today we are hiking the loop in Pulpit Rock Conservation Area, Bedford, New Hampshire. This is the trail map right here. We'll be taking the Kenner Trail to the Tufts Trail to gauge a sawmill site. Then we'll be taking the Ravine Trail back to the back and through the Pulpit, and then taking the way we came back. Might also take the Campbell Trail. Either one will get you to the sawmill site. And we start out by crossing this fancy assortment of boardwalks. Quite nice. And onward we go to the Pulpit. Alright, it appears that right here we have a giant teepee. This definitely was here the past couple times I came here. Not before that. As you can see, it's huge. You can walk right inside it. Put a giant tarp over it and it'll make an awesome shelter. Very nice. I'll meet you farther down the trail. Alright, we are crossing a bridge between two rock outcroppings over a little swampy type place. Awesome. Alright, we are now on the Tufts Trail. I think it's like half mile, maybe a little more, to the junction with the spur path to the old mill site. Not a bad trail, certainly not as scenic as the Kenner Trail or the Lambert Trail. But trust me, it gets better near the end. So, I'm just going to chug along down here, and I'll meet you farther down the trail if something interesting happens. Alright, we're at another boardwalk crossing. Small little brook that feeds into Pulpit Brook, which we'll be reaching very soon. You'll see it. The brook, not the actual Pulpit. Once we get to the junction with the spur path to the old mill site. And if nothing interesting happens along the way, I'll meet you when you get to the start of that path. Alright, we are at Pulpit Brook. Tufts Trail, other end is right there. And we're going to go that way to get to the Ravine Trail, but first we're going to take this little path right here to get to the site of the old mill. And I will meet you once you get to that mill site. This is one of my favorite areas in this place, other than Pulpit Rock itself. Got a beaver dam right there, neat little cascade. As you follow it down and down, we get to the old mill site, which is, right now, this is a big rock gap in the brook that the brook flows through, followed by stone walls everywhere. Not bad. There's my dad, my partner in crime. So far it's actually really, really nice. Nice day, a little bit cloudy, but there aren't really any mountain views anyway. So, I'm going to stop here for a little bit, and then I will meet you at the Ravine Trail. Oh yeah, here's another thing I forgot to show. This awesome little cascade. I've actually never seen this before on any trip I went here previously. Just flows down there. Just a neat little natural feature in this Pulpit Rock Conservation Area. Alright, crossing another bridge, brook crossing. Quite nice. And I'll meet you once we get onto the Ravine Trail, which will take us to the Pulpit Rock. Awesome. Okay, we got a perfectly normal, almost perfectly circular hole bored into the rock. And this over here is almost like a partial hole. weird. Right, we're now on the ravine trail, and what you're staring at is a big bulging rock cliff with a little pool of water inside. Nice. And assuming nothing interesting happens, here we go. Like a big pit. Oh well, there's an even bigger pit coming. And assuming nothing interesting happens, I'll show it to you when I get there. Alright. Look at this. Yet another cascade. An actually big pool type thing. There wasn't such muck underneath the surface and on the bottom. Make an excellent swimming hole, but I don't think I want to swim in this because of the muck. Oh, onward we go. Wow. Just goes to show that although the White Mountains may be New Hampshire's premier outdoor playground, these smaller local places have plenty to offer too. Sometimes they can be just as fun as the White Mountains. Awesome. Oh, here we go. Almost there now. And holy sea foam, that man. To the pulpit we go. Now I'll meet you once I get to the pulpit proper. Walking through a rock cave sort of thing. Very, very nice. This is why I love coming here. It's just such an incredible place in what's practically suburbia. Oh yeah, and about the pulpit. It's called either Pulpit Rock or the Pulpit. It's basically a big rock gorge cut in by glacial meltwater over thousands of years. And most of the pulpit is actually buried underneath sediment. And believe it or not, according to what I read, it's actually bigger than the basin in Franconia Knox State Park. So that's your history minute for today. Okay, this is what we saw like at the beginning of the pulpit. This long waterfall cascade type thing. And since we've had recent rain, it's actually flowing pretty well. This is definitely one of the better, not the better, but the best features of this town conservation area. So we're going to hike on the Granite Trail to get to the picnic area where the kiosk is, and then we're going to have lunch there, and then we'll meet you back at the trailhead, assuming nothing interesting happens. Alright, here's another part of the conservation area that I've never been to. The campsite. You can camp here, but I believe you need permission from the town of Bedford, and maybe even an overnight parking permit from the police department. But if you can get that, this might be not a bad place to camp. You could explore the somewhat massive trail system around this area, come here and camp, then hike that few tenths of a mile out the next morning. Well, we made it back to the trailhead. Overall, this is probably one of my favorite local hikes, although I gotta start doing it more. It's such a neat and varied area with a lot to see for basically being in suburbia, i.e. Bedford. So the round trip distance was a little under 3 miles, with maybe 300 feet of elevation gain. So, from the Pulpit Rock trailhead, I will see you on my next adventure.